Hi, Blake.
Hey guys.
So tell us, what is an Earthship?
Earthship, to me, is a radically different way to live in terms of not only how you get energy to your home, but also just how you interface with the world completely. And it can be life-altering. Earthships begin by using reused or recycled materials that would otherwise be discarded into landfills, just as building blocks for the house. So they immediately provided a benefit to our environment. Then another way that the Earthship encounters the world or the universe is that it uses energy that's given freely by the sun or the wind. Earthships also are able to grow their own food, treat their own wastewater. They catch water from the rain as opposed to taking it out of the ground and depleting the groundwater. And they can also, as I was saying, provide a completely different way of living so that they take pressure off of your need to go out and earn money to pay for all these expensive habits that we've developed over time. So to me, that's what an Earthship is.
Okay. So behind you is an Earthship in its infancy, right?
Yes.
This is a brand new Earthship being built from the ground up.
Right. The ground was broken on this week.
This week.
Right.
And you're working on this one,
I
correct?
am working on this with my fellow students at the Earthship Academy.
So tell us about the tires here.
So the tires are tires that have already been used on the highway. They've been thrown out. They probably ended up in a landfill somewhere. But now they've been reclaimed and they're going to be used as building blocks or forms for this home, for this Earthship that's being built. And what they allow you to do is pack earth into them and create substantial amounts of thermal mass. And thermal mass is used to basically stabilize the home's temperature so that it doesn't get too cold in the winter and it doesn't get too hot in the summer. When these tires are packed out with earth, they end up weighing 200 to 300 pounds. So they're massive building blocks. You can think of them as bricks. Some people worry about off-gassing and stuff that these tires might do into the home, but scientific studies have been done around that, and basically once they've been used, the amount of off-gassing is substantially lower, almost negligible, and then they're encased in plaster and earth, so there's really nowhere, or that's not occurring any longer.
And then right behind you is a completed Earthship, right?
Right, this is an older one.
Yeah, this is the visitor center.
And you can see from the front of that, there's quite a few photovoltaic cells or solar panels that are being used to collect energy freely given by the sun.
You got a windmill on the ceiling there.
They have a windmill, so that's also generating electricity just from these natural phenomena that are occurring every day for free. We don't have to burn any fossil fuels. We don't have to build nuclear power plants to provide this home with electricity.
And then behind you there,
this is a...
is that a work in progress, or is
that is absolutely a work in progress. This is a part of what is now a sustainable housing test site here near Taos, New Mexico. And from my understanding, this is being used to prototype a building that multiple tenants could live in, where they could actually also generate their own economy and become self-sustaining. And as I was mentioning earlier, these homes can grow a substantial amount of food to feed the inhabitants. Another important part of this is rainwater catchment or harvesting. We might be able to walk behind this house in a few minutes and see how it catches water that comes from the rain and then can be treated and used in the home, including for drinking. Watch these lines here. So because there's somebody staying in this home, I don't think we should go on top of it, but you can see up here on the roof, there's kind of a sculpted roof here. That's essentially, you can think of it as a teacup to catch rainwater instead of just shedding it off into the ground. And then that water is caught and funneled into storage tanks or cisterns that are buried behind the home. And then the home uses gravity to bring that into the house and then filter the water and use it, as I said, for the inhabitants. And the inhabitants also include the plants. So once the humans have used it for washing hands, showering, things like that, it moves into gray water botanical cells. Plants love that. That's second-hand water, basically, from humans. They filter the water, and then it can be used to charge toilets. And then once it becomes black water, it's moved out through a traditional septic system into the yard, where there can be more botanical cells that use the water after it's been treated by the septic system. So the water gets used 4 times, whereas in a conventional home it's used once. So what we're talking about in Earthship is really maximizing use of precious resources and materials. It's just a whole different way of living. It essentially is like living in harmony with our universe as opposed to trying to control and manipulate it.
How much would you say an Earthship costs to build using all these recycled materials?
Well, there are different levels. There are
like this one here we're looking at here.
Okay, this is.
Let's go to the front so we can have a good look at it.
Okay. Whoa. Those wires will catch you. Yeah, one more.
Wow, the New Mexico desert.
So, this home, Mike Reynolds and his Earthship crews refer to this as a simple survival model, and they developed this out of their work in third world countries where people don't have a lot of financial resources, and sometimes the building materials to build these really exotic homes. So they found that they can build this from probably about $9,000 to $15,000, and this is a home that 2 people could easily live in and have all their basic needs met. And it can also be built up in a relatively short period of time. We're talking on the order of 1 to 2 months.
Wow.
So this can really liberate you. And it makes it accessible to people all over the world. I think a lot of times in the U.S. we think about sustainable housing, but we're talking really high dollar systems, and that puts it out of the reach, out of the majority of the people in the world. If I remember correctly, only 17% of the population of the world lives in what are considered developed first world countries. So we're talking about 83% of the population that is struggling for their housing. And so the guys here at the Earthship Biotecture are trying to make this extend to everybody. And this home, just like a more expensive Earthship, takes care of its own needs without connecting to the power grid or the water systems or the sewage systems.
All right. Great stuff.
And in a few minutes we can drive over, hopefully, to one of the what's called a global model airship, and that's probably more comfortable or familiar to those who are used to living in a conventional home in America. But again, it is going to be substantially more expensive to build.
Great.
Cool.
Great stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming out here with